Today we're going to show you a perfect example of how to install a ForeverLawn Select HD custom cut sample. Now this video today is going to be at a cemetery plot where we have custom cut 11-foot long by 42-inch wide pieces of ForeverLawn Select HD. Now the reason that this is done is because each burial plot, there's 10 burial plots in the section that you're going to see, and the fact that we can divide the turf up into sections 42 inches wide, and with the way that ForeverLawn seams their grass, it's a perfect fit for this application. Now ForeverLawn utilizes a micromechanical seaming method, and as you can see, here's two pieces of ForeverLawn right here. And because the backing on ForeverLawn is thicker and utilizes this Geotex backing, micromechanical seaming is just a fancy word for a Velcro type of seal. So on the backing you can see that this would be the hook portion, and then the seam tape here is the other portion of the Velcro. And by taking two pieces and putting them together, we can just take and put half of this seam tape under this piece, like so, and that grabs it, and then you just simply line up the other piece, press it down, and you have a seam where you don't see any seam. So that's the technology that we're going to see today in this installation video, which makes it really nice because now that the turf will be in and you don't see the seams, you create a nice area of grass. But then when the time comes that a burial plot is needed, what you simply do is pull the turf back up. My apologies for the bad video. So you pull the piece up and off, and now you have access to a 42-inch wide area that you can dig out for the vault and do the burial. And then when that's over, you just simply put the turf back in, re-velcro it, and you have your solid seam again, and now you have the perfect area of grass that becomes maintenance free. And that's why ForeverLawn is a perfect product for this type of situation. Now let's get to the install video. Alright, first thing in the process is to strip the grass. So you can see in this area, is stripped down to the dirt, and now we brought in just some stone. So you want to dump a little bit of stone in the area and spread that just to make sure the area is shored up so that is solid underneath the turf. Now what you want to do, once the stone is in, you need to take a tamper and just tamp the area. As you can see, this left side hasn't been tamped and this side has been tamped. And then with what we call a landscape rake, just like that, it's got a flat side on one side and teeth on the other, which is another tool that you'll want to pick up. You can get that at Home Depot or Lowe's. And using the flat side, you just take, after you tamp it, you take and drag it just to level off the area nice. And then the final way of smoothing things out is you can just take a regular bristle broom and go over it to get it nice and smooth and ready for the turf. Okay, once you have all the fines leveled and smooth, we have marked where the first piece is going to lay. And as you can see, we put a string line where the first monument is.
In this case, we want to be 11 feet from that fence. So we ran the string line, marked it at 11 feet from the fence over, put the string there, and this way we'll know when we start down here on our first piece, all we have to do is connect the pieces right along the fence and we should be good. And now it's time to lay the grass. Okay, now you want to lay out the turf before you get started. Lay it out so it comes in rolls like this. This is how you will see the turf come in, and then you want to unroll them in the sun. And as you can see, since they were rolled up, they're kind of curled up on the ends. So you want the sun to relax that a little bit before you put in the strips. And as you can see, hopefully on the video, this turf has a direction to it. As you can see, the fibers come this way. They fall this way and towards this way. So it's important to make sure that you always have the fibers, the different pieces, laid in the same direction. Because if we change directions to the next piece, then you would see a major difference in the turf. And as you can see, on this end, the fibers are going this way. And then over here, on the next piece, they're following that same direction. So now, if we pull that piece over, you see that it disappears, and you shouldn't be able to see the seam.
You see the difference?
Alright, so here's the direction. As you can see, we put these two pieces together, and we're looking directly into the fibers as they come at you, and you can see the seam kind of disappears. But this is the view that you want people to look at it from. So this is the way you want to lay the grass. The fibers are coming this way, and you're looking up into the fibers. This is the best way to view the grass, because as you can see, if I turn the grass around and we view it from the other side, it completely changes the look, and you catch a little more reflection from the sun because the fibers are going the other direction. So you can see it has two different looks depending on which way you have the fibers. So you figure out which way most people are going to view your grass from, and that's the way you want the fibers. Okay, each piece is numbered, so we've put in 3 pieces so far. Here comes piece number 4. It's just a matter of laying it down in place, pulling it to the string line so it's even with the fence, and setting it right up against the next piece. And that's it. And then continue, just repeat that as you move down along until you get all the pieces in. Okay, time for the seam tape. What you do is just roll out the roll of seam tape to the size, and then you want to move it to the one side.
Just double check, make sure we have the right, we're tight together here.
You make sure the fibers are good and tight where that seam is. And then, as you can see with this piece comes out first, and the seam tape moves to where it's half on this piece,
Pull it tight, there you go.
and then you drop this piece first. And as you can see, then we just press it in, and you want this piece on top first. This is the one you want to Velcro first. Now you just pull that other piece out from underneath, lay the turf on, rub it down in, and it is Velcroed and good. And that's it. And that's all there is to it. Here they go. I'm going to measure the seam tape roll. There. Cut it with a utility knife. Make sure their turf is lined up well. Make sure they're completely butted up against the other one nice. Because when they're laying here loose, they could move. Peel that back. Lay that down. Press it in. Lift the other side. And press down. And the seam disappears. And you have now got some nice pretty grass. Now you secure the edges.
Tight together.
Yeah.
Good? Yep.
Put the galvanized 6-inch landscape spikes, nail them in to the edge. Here are the spikes. These can be bought in a bucket at Lowe's or Home Depot. You go along the edge and just secure it by nailing that in. And then we're going to put mulch
You're on that side.
all along the edge
We have to
just to
move
fill in.
this line and stuff.
This has been nailed.
Done. That one needs
And we'll come along here and do the same. And then, little metal piece.
Right.
I don't know if you want to show
taping.
that. Really, you just take your utility knife and our grass kind of goes right over it.
Mhm.
So you just lay the turf right on it, then you can see where you got to cut, and it's just a matter of following that. And then see how I'm cutting the
Yes.
backing, not just coming
Right.
across and cutting the fibers. So if you just come like that, and now you have that cut out,
Beautiful.
and now this goes right in there, and you almost don't even see it.
Perfect.
All right, sometimes you're gonna have to trim the turf to match up with the rest of it, and that's really simple. What you can do, as you can see, our Velcro holds, but I made a mark at 11 feet on the back side, and all we used was a Sharpie pen because it shows up really well on the backing. And I marked it 11 feet on this side, and most of the time the holes, as you can see in the turf, go straight across and give you a nice straight line. So then you just take your utility knife, stick it in there, line it straight to your other piece. And it is now cut. And that's it. This is our power broom. It's just an attachment to your weed whacker. All the major manufacturers have this as an attachment option. You can buy this. This just makes it to where you can fluff the turf. You really don't have to have this. A stiff bristled broom can be used as well. All right. Here's the finished product. Final piece. And actually
See, what a difference, man. Wow. With the mulch?
just add some mulch along the outside.